Welcome back to round 2. Ding, 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 ding.
Of Flop Squad podcast, please.
For those that have not watched the first one, I am Nadia.
And I'm
This year-
Zam.
I call her Sam, by the way.
Yeah,
for
Nadia
if
calls me
you-
Sam. Nadia's the only one that's allowed to call me Sam because that name changed a long time ago.
Yes,
No, don't
yeah, she's a
answer
different
to Sam.
person now, therefore her name is different. However, if you see Sam, don't think it's someone else, it's this one here. I'm just, talking about her. And shall I just start? Oh, shit.
Yeah, I mean, let's get right into it, right? Because in the last episode, actually, we spoke about a little bit about ourselves.
A little bit. I feel like we went really deep into beginning.
Deep, girl. We lived a long life so far.
I
Alhamdulillah.
know.
But
So I feel like we
it
went
was like the highlights. Like we did a little bit of reels. Like we
just
touched
a little bit of
We
information
touched on a few things
about us and growing up and parent.
Yeah, we
and,
touched on
yeah.
parenthood and the things that we learned from our parents.
Yeah.
And how they shaped us as who we are.
Yeah, and I think we touched education as well. I kind of think that was a massive thing, not just for us but for our parents, because I feel like that's where it all starts for them. That's what they want to leave us with is education. So I think that's what we should talk about today. We should talk about education. And
Most
is
definitely.
it really worth it? Let's be honest.
Is university worth it? Or is education worth it?
I think education...
Those are two very different questions.
Okay, do you know what? I think education from primary to secondary 100% needs to happen, but it needs to happen different from what's happening right now.
Okay. I'm going to stop you. I don't want to ask you a question. Because I think we need to be even more specific. Because even education at those ages are different, right? So you have
No, I think it's
traditional
a build-up
education.
though.
No. Because you have the traditional education model, where you learn the curriculum, what you learn in school.
Yeah.
You also have the non-formal curricula, the other things that you do, all the activities
But
that
we're
you're
not
involved in.
talking about that though. We're focusing on education, aren't we?
Okay, but that's still education.
Yeah, but that's the education that you learn from your parents. From,
Parents,
how to behave, how not to behave.
What is something that everyone's done in school?
Work experience.
Work experience.
Yeah.
When you...
But I feel like that's a whole different kind of education. I mean, you're still educating yourself, but... Yeah, 100%. But we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about...
I feel like we go into both of it, though. But, okay, let's focus on the curricula, then. So your thing is, the actual curricula from the ages of, did you say 5 years old?
Since you start school. Proper. Good question.
4 or 5?
Yeah, I think
that sounds about right.
Because even my cousin right now, I think she's in reception and they only play. Mind you, she's learning to write.
No, they learn a lot more in reception actually. They learn
yeah, she's learning to write.
Colours. They learn letters, how to put letters together. They learn things that are in a really fun way.
But I feel like at that age you shouldn't. But they don't really do it in a fun way because I remember before my cousin started going to school, she used to spend a lot of time with my auntie at home, and my auntie used to introduce her to certain things, but in a fun way. She wouldn't even realize she's learning. She'd go to my auntie and ask her, let's do it. And then when she got into school, it became kind of it felt like she was being forced to do certain
Education
things.
should be fun though.
But that's something I feel like that doesn't happen in school.
Okay, yeah.
I think
it happens at primary school. And then it's your mode of the way you're taught completely changes.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think it should happen in primary school.
You don't think they should have fun in primary school?
No, I think it shouldn't. Real education should happen in primary school. That's what I mean. It should have fun, full stop. And when they get into year 7...
Yeah, but it's learning through fun.
Yeah.
It's still school.
But let's be honest, some kids, if you don't have that structure, they'll be like, nah, I don't want to learn.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of kids doing that. I think year 7s that have been to school apparently, but when they get there, it's are you sure you went to school?
Yeah, but you know what? And I'm not an expert on primary and high school education. University education, we could talk about that for hours. But I do think there is a big shock for kids when they leave
100%.
Primary school
Yep.
and they go into high school, right? Because it's primary school, you're like kind of catered to, you're supported. And it's like it's like, you're not even put into like set 1, set 2, set 3. It's like there's a blue table and there's a red table and there's a, and like the red table just needs a little bit more help. I'm going to support them and they're going to have this support. And I think like kids like get into this like in the system of like actually being supported. But when they're brought into high school, there's no gap, like there's no gaps that are filled, right? In the sense of like, then they all of a sudden are like, well, you're in this set, which is the bottom set, and this is the smart set, and like they can directly identify. But even though they're in set 5, set 4, set whatever, right? They're not given the support that they were given, right? And it's like, and there's this expectation. And I remember like actually as kids, we used to think about it as black and blue. I'm not gonna lie to you, black and blue, the hell? Black and white, right? In the sense that like, if you were in that set, you just wasn't smart. And like in my head, I didn't think to myself like, you could probably like, work hard and get to set 1.
Yeah.
I was like, no. That's just the set you belong to. That's just who you are. Like if you were set 1 for maths, then you were just really good at maths and you belong to that set. And if you were set 5 for English, you just was really bad at English. And there's nothing that you could do to get up those sets, right? That's just who you were.
And especially when you're young, you just kind of like give up because you don't really say, what's the point? Because it does make sense. Like, what is the point? If you're going to tell me that this is who I am, then what's the point of... But I honestly think that they get a shock. And that's what I'm saying. Like, in primary school, I honestly think it should be about building you mentally and physically. As in, like,
definitely.
You're playing around, like, you're building... I won't call it confidence, but we're building you to be okay with any change that happens in your life.
Like a level of resilience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you do that by playing, like you having like group work with your friends. Okay. I'm not talking about like
in the classroom.
I'm talking about like outside, camping, like doing like a lot of physical stuff, like martial arts. I think that's something that needs to be introduced. Kids need to learn to fight, need to learn to protect themselves. And I feel like martial arts and stuff like that, they really help you on your like concentration, discipline, those sort of things. I think that needs to be introduced into schools. And I think that needs to be introduced while you're in primary school. That's what they need to learn. And then when they go into year 7, because they already have that platform ready for them, it's kind of like, what is this? I can easily do this. Even they might not know like, a lot of like maths and English, but because they have that platform built for them.
There's a thing actually, and like what you're talking about is like teaching somebody how to learn before they learn.
Yeah, because
that's what it is.
Yeah, because if I can get you mentally ready, physically and mentally and physically ready.
Because if I know how to receive that information, I know how to dissect that information. I know how to. I
know how to focus. I know how to do this, and like certain things that if you know how to do it, when you get into certain situations, it won't be a shock for you. Because
no, of course not, because you know how to navigate it.
Exactly. Yeah. So even if you start school at year 8, it won't really matter to you because you'll be ready for anything that comes your way. And I feel like that's what's happening, because I feel like kids nowadays, they're at that age where, they're just selfish. Yeah. And they get taught to be divided. I'm this set, I'm that set, I'm this person, I'm that, it's all this. And I feel like if they were doing physical work, as in like, challenges and doing stuff, they wouldn't be thinking about how that person is or how that person isn't or how I am. Do like it would be all about how can I make myself better? How can I improve? But it will be about me. It won't be about anyone else.
Yeah, but I feel like personal comparison is something that comes from our parents. Yeah. I don't think kids compare themselves until they're compared to somebody else. And then they start to think that that's the goalpost that they should be comparing themselves to.
That
like you said, because the reality is like you said, like kids are selfish, and
they have the right to be selfish.
Of course,
they're that age.
Actually,
that,
yeah. You have.
They're not
like they because like the reality is like we are all the center of our universes.
Yeah.
Right, and that's just something.
That's all we know.
We all know. Like that's it. We're in the like. The entire world is a big place, and there's a lot of people. But like in me and my world, like Zamzam is the center of it. I'm the main character in this story, right? So, but for kids, like they can't see or understand or comprehend anyone else because it's about them. They're in that, and the older you get, the older they get, they start to understand how people play a part of like their story and how they fit into their story.
The reason they don't get about other people is because they're not doing things to learn about, to care. Like if you're doing a challenge,
they're not being like taught things.
Exactly. As in like if you're doing a challenge or where you have like you're climbing a wall in group. Yeah. If you're learning that, make sure you're taking care of your friends next to you and like making sure that person.
It's getting
build
up,
that.
You're giving advice and supporting your
Exactly.
friend when they mess up.
You're building that.
You fall off the wall, you get back up, you try again.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? It won't be about talk, because kids, like, you can give advice to a kid left, right, center. They won't care. Like,
no.
Go in at 100.
Unless they want to absorb that information.
Exactly.
They're not absorbing that information.
Normally in desperate times. That's why you see a lot of kids that like come from a hard place. They tend to like succeed because like it's either you do it or you do it. But a lot of kids, they don't have that.
Yeah.
You know, we're not gonna.
I think actually learning, because from my perspective, I think, like we mentioned this in the first episode, like, but my father has always been like education, strict, but like,
and you can see like even though your father was like that, or your, siblings, they're all different.
Oh yeah, very different, 100%. But I do think like in the sense of like, it was the fact that like being told like you get it wrong, okay, but you'll get it right the next time, so try again.
You're the only one that took that in.
100%. You're right.
Because
like me and my brother, like I think the greatest example is like me and my brother, and like I think my brother was actually genuinely way more smarter than me in the sense of like he didn't work as hard to like get something. Yeah. And he's a year older than me. It's fine, but I competed with him all the time. I was like, I have to be smarter than you, better than you, faster than you at all times. But like, there was like exactly a year between us, and we were taught the same thing. We were always. Do you know the funny story? This is like pivoting again, but like a really funny story is that my mom said to me that I stopped wearing the diaper when she was teaching my brother to stop wearing the diaper, and I was like, that guy can do it. I can do it too. And I did not wear the. Do you know what I mean? It's like things like that. Like just be like, if he can do it, I can do this too.
But that happens a lot. My cousin started walking because of me, because she saw me walking. She was like, no. Yeah. I'm gonna do it. Literally, like my mum said, like
I skipped crawling as well. Mum says that I skipped crawling as well.
That's it,
and she's like, it's like because me and my brother, I think there's literally 11 months between us. Like I'm born in June, he's born in May. But for you, I was like, I saw him walking. I said, I could walk. If he can walk, I can walk.
But that's been like now we turn into a competition. But like when you're younger, that's what happens, isn't it? You learn.
Yeah, you model your like the
you
closest
learn
person
by
to you.
seeing what other people are doing. By copying and following.
That's very true.
And all sorts.
The people around you.
For you, it wasn't a competition. It was just like, he can do it.
I just wanted to be like my brother.
I can do it.
Yeah, he was my big brother and I wanted to be like him. Yeah. That's really the reality.
Yeah, 100%.
And so I copied him and I wanted to... Do you know what the funny thing is? Now I think about it, like the other episode, I feel like I was a tomboy because I wanted to be like my brother. You know what I mean? I feel like we were so close in age growing up that like I wanted to be like him. Yeah. So I like when he was like, I'm an Arsenal supporter. I was like, I'm an Arsenal supporter too.
God. Yeah, I remember that time.
He's like, gonna go play football. I'm gonna go play football too.
It's like you were like, at what age? Okay, we're actually going way off. But education. So, 100%. I think primary, it needs to be that place where kids are doing physical and mental stuff. Nothing to do with like
100%.
Unless you're doing the language, of course, because you have to learn the language and stuff like that.
But no, I think you said
you can learn history, geography, all that needs to come. Like,
I don't agree with
it. If it even comes,
I don't agree with that. I think,
but you're gonna be learning. Like, you're going to places, you're gonna be learning that regardless.
Not really.
Yes, really. Not as deep as you learn in school.
Because the reason I say this is because a little plug, but I'm a trainer. I train people like on different things, right? And like,
you train what kind of people?
Young people, adults, all kinds of people.
But that's what I'm saying. Because I see it in school. You tell kids history.
Yeah, but let me land. You know that's from Clubhouse. Everyone on Clubhouse used to be like, let me land, and they'll be waffling for like 700 minutes, and they'll be like, wait, let me land. They'd have a landing, okay?
Of course.
They'd be circling the airport for an hour. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is, right, I'm a trainer, so I train people, right? And so, of course, when you're training somebody, you have to give them the theoretical side to, like, what you're teaching them, right? So, like, if I'm teaching somebody, like, the importance of campaigning and how to be a campaigner, I'm giving them context and theories of, like, different types of campaigns, how they implement. That stuff is boring, right? The reality is, but you have to give that information away, right? Yeah. But then, the way in which you assess learning, and the way I assess learning as a trainer is then I give them a task. I give them like a mission to do, to create a campaign, right? Yeah. And it's something physical or like something fun, right? So like they might be like policy enthusiasts, right? And I'm not going to tell them to like run a campaign around policy because that's boring. That's not mentally stimulating. But I'll tell them to run a policy on like why everything in the world should be pink, right? And they're supposed to in a very serious format, right? Create me a campaign from top to bottom how it's going to run, right? In a very professional format on a very silly topic, right? Because it's funny and it's fun, right? It engages you in a different way. And you learn in a different way, right? And so that's what I'm saying. So when I say it's like, actually, there is way in which you can bring informal curricula into the formal curricula. And it's really important to do that, because then you allow people to be creative and think differently about how we could learn. Because the reality is, like when we talk about learning, education, like all of us think immediately like university, high school, primary school. Why have I forgotten like the stages? Anyways, and that's what like immediately where my brain goes. But actually, like we never stop learning.
Yeah, 100%.
From everything. We're learning when we watch TV. We're learning when we like on TikTok. We're learning like from our friends. We're learning when we're reading books. Like we're consistently
You're learning from yourself consistently.
Yeah.
And everything that you do.
So it's like figuring out actually how do you learn well, and how do I learn well? We're gonna learn differently. Like, and I think the problem with education systems is that like there are
They don't embrace everything.
No, it's like everyone's gonna learn the same way.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna. You're gonna listen to this presentation, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna write an assignment, and you're gonna be assessed in the space of an hour. Yeah. And that's how I'm gonna measure how smart you are. That's not realistic.
I'm gonna take anything.
I'm a drop a real fact for you guys. Those of you that know about the real work environment. Ain't nobody gonna do a 1 hour test in the real world. Literally,
everything
you don't need to memorize a text box in the real world.
Done last minute in the real world.
Literally,
that's something that we learn in school that you're not meant to be doing, but that's something that we do.
That's really bad advice, Nadia. That's really bad advice, guys. Guys, do your assignments early, okay? Be good students.
The first time I did an assignment on time was the first time I got a low mark in university.
You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. That same thing happened to me.
Like. I was so annoyed. I was like, what? I spent a lot of time doing this. I did a week before. He was like,
same.
Well, it didn't have this. I'm like, what do you mean it has everything? So that's when I realized, you know what? I feel like my focus is different when I have that.
You know what? Some of us just perform really well under pressure. And that might be for unhealthy reasons, and we should probably unpick that.
Yeah.
But I think I honestly perform, like when I say I perform under pressure, like I will produce gems.
Because I feel
when
like
I am stressed.
Yeah.
Like my back is against the line. The deadline is moving.
You don't have time to think too much. Like your focus, like I feel like you just come in and you just
it's like
do it.
Brilliant ideas come to me in the final hour. Like the final hour.
Yeah.
And it's like the craziest stress, because I'll be like doing nothing the entire time. And then I'll be like, oh, God.
And then those last minutes, like...
Get that in there. Like, honestly, I'm writing incredible works of art. And I'm like, whoa, I did that. I did that. Honestly, like, it's the funniest thing. I think some of my best work, like, in terms of, like press releases I've done, or, like articles I've written, or it's literally been in the final seconds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
They've, like, been thrown together, and they've done incredibly well. So, yeah, some of us perform really well under pressure. And I don't know why that is. Like, I think there's probably, like, there's reasonings for it, like why we need to feel a level of pressure.
To be able to
do something.
That's actually true, though.
You know, it's
not just with work. I feel like with life, even like we have to feel a certain pain or a certain something for us to, you know, reach a level that.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
That's very true. That is very true. And honestly, think about it further. I think like, it becomes really unhealthy.
Yeah, it
and
does.
Toxic. When like
you've
normalized, because clearly we normalized that from school. When I did homework at the final second. Sometimes I used to do homework like literally in school, like just before that lesson was starting. I'd be like, right, and then same situation when like I went to high school, college, then university, you know, and then now life, in real life, like I will be working on a project
that you learn through that time.
Oh my God,
take it into
I
your
have
life.
Anxiety when they don't send me a project deadline.
Yeah.
They'll be like, you know, try to get this done within the next week. When somebody say that to me, within the next week, it means
you won't do it.
You don't really need it, do you? You don't really
you won't do it.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're gonna wait until you say Zamzam, this needs to be in on Friday at 12 o'clock, noon. And then is it in? It can't be. So like, you need to threaten me with like...
Yeah.
Put a knife to my neck.
I agree with you.
That's the only way I'll be like, oh, I need to get this done. And I'll feel the pressure and I'll get it done, which is so badly unhealthy.
It is really unhealthy. It is really
crazy unhealthy. But
then again, I feel it's because, like, we're going...
No, I think it links into it because it's like it's things that we've learned through education. You know, and I think actually the reason I like linking back, like I think the reason that we learnt those things in that way is because we were often given homework that was like stupid. It wasn't like, I felt like anyways, right? In the sense that like we were given homework for the sake of being given homework, right? Because I think like if I was gonna give somebody homework, right, then I want to be able to like go through it with them and be like, actually, here's where you went wrong.
Yeah, but they went through it with you in lesson, and then they give you that to carry on at home for you to do it by yourself.
Never ever remember going through homework in any class I ever studied. But we went to the same high school, so don't start waffling now.
No, I'm talking about the homework they gave you was for you to carry on what you did in school.
Yeah, but at what point did you go through
it?
Yeah, but at what point did you go through your homework?
You used to go through it.
Your homework in class?
All the time. Yeah, 100%.
We were in different classes.
100%.
Tell me one teacher that went through your homework.
Mr. Roberts.
That he fancied a maths teacher.
I didn't fancy him. I fancied the likes of him. He was just so confident. I hated maths, and like he made maths so easy for me. So it was like perfect, you know.
Yeah, he used to teach me, and then I was moved to set 1. It was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So I was like,
I don't know how you.
No more Mr. Roberts.
Yeah, he was amazing. Like I really liked him.
No, he was a very, very good teacher. I loved maths, anyways. I've always loved maths.
Yeah.
Because it's logical and it makes sense, like anything else.
English makes sense. History makes sense.
No, English. I hate English. I don't know if I hate English because of our teacher, or if I hate English.
Yeah, your teacher was an emotional wreck.
Yeah, I didn't have a great teacher.
She was an emotional wreck. Like
she didn't
crying left, right, and center. But anyways, I'm not gonna lie to you. We're bad students, so we're not even gonna go into that.
I know, honestly, it's very difficult to be like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like when you're like a bird's eye view, like looking in to something. Because we're like I feel like our views are like massively coloured because we were just terrible students. So of course, as terrible students, teachers were nice to us. So years later, I honestly have no bad feelings about any of my teachers.
No, I don't even like remember most of it. I don't even remember most of it.
But
to tell the truth,
I think English I didn't like. Science I never liked, but I had to do science because my dad wanted to be a doctor. That was never gonna happen. But yeah, I had to do science because of that. But I'm trying to remember what subjects I loved. And maths was the only one.
Oh, history was the best. We didn't do nothing in history.
No, but history she enjoyed because we had a history teacher that just literally let us watch movies.
Yeah, he was good though. He was banging at drawing. He did all those drawings in the board. He
was actually an OG teacher. Let me give you context, right? This teacher, right, would put a movie on, but he'd have work on the board just in case a teacher comes, right? And then we'd have somebody that was in charge of like sitting in the hall and making sure that nobody's gonna. So somebody would come, right? Bad. Movie goes off, and he's literally like, so in the Battle of Hastings, brilliant. Like he was so good. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I loved his history lessons because he told them in like beautiful ways, in the sense that like he told the stories.
Yeah.
Like he really captured you.
Yeah.
You know, and he made like drawings. Remember, he used to draw out things. He was
he was really good at
He was
drawing.
a great talent. He actually was a brilliant teacher.
Yeah. I actually feel bad that we didn't like allow him, you know, to put more out there.
Yeah, to teach us more.
Yeah, because he was really good. Like, he was actually 100%. Really good.
He's also one of those teachers that let you wag it in his class.
He was just. He had no backbone. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like he was just like, you know, you do whatever you want. I'm not gonna get between you.
I'm skipping a class. Can I hide in here?
As long as no one finds out, it's me. It's cool.
If they catch you in here, I'm just gonna say I didn't know you were here. So
bad.
Always like I was like, cool.
That's something like that. I realized like everyone nowadays is like, oh my god, education is so bad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah. We were just as bad or worse, and we survived.
Yeah, but you know what? I think that's because everyone romanticizes the past, like in everything.
Yeah.
Honestly, like everyone thinks like things were so much better in their time.
Yep.
All the time.
Yeah.
And now like kids are seen as like, oh, you know, these kids aren't grateful.
They talk back. They do that.
These kids are this. These kids are rude. No, we all did that.
We locked a teacher in the cupboard. A music teacher. He was locked in the cupboard.
There's no need to say that aloud.
Do you understand? Like, if a kid ever does that, we're like, oh my goodness, this is it. This is the end of the world.
There's no need to be proud of that, Nadia.
I'm not proud of it, but what I'm saying...
Nah, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'm proud of it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Nah, it's funny.
All I'm saying is, it's like, I don't think we should make it into like the kids nowadays are really bad. I don't think the kids nowadays are really bad. I just think kids nowadays are definitely expressing themselves just like we were.
No, 100%.
Like,
and I think they have,
days.
do you know what is right? It's crazy because they have bigger platforms to do it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I feel like times now, they're so, like, it's a lot harder now for them to express themselves than back when we were in school.
You know what? I think this is kind of taking us into non-curricular. Because I'll be honest with you, right? I am a big fan of kids like learning and teaching each other through social media. And I know like there's like a huge anxiety of, I'm not a parent, so I can't necessarily like speak to this, but like honestly, the amount of like content kids are able to create, and I think there's like, the internet's always been like the good, the bad and the ugly, right? It's like always been like, it's got
with everything in life,
it has some really horrible things on there.
It just depends on the person you are.
Yeah, and it's harder now to safeguard your kids.
Yeah, 100%.
Is that the right word? Safeguard your kids, anyways, right? And listen, safeguard your kids.
I honestly, I was like, why saying gate is the guard?
Safeguard your kids.
The guard.
That one. English is my third language. Please, forgive me if I make mistakes. I'm actually like, I can't say that anymore because English is actually the language I'm most proficient in.
Yeah, but you speak other languages.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you. We've been in England for a long time, but I honestly, there's days that I wake up, I'm like, where did English go?
Where did it go?
Where did it go?
I lived in Brussels for like 2 years, and my Somali was so rusty when I came back. Because who was I speaking to? Who was I speaking to?
No, but like it happens though. Even if you like constantly, like even my Portuguese at times, I'm like, what the?
But anyways,
where are you coming from?
I was saying it's a lot harder to safeguard your children on the internet.
Yeah,
right?
it
is. And I think instead of like focusing on safeguarding children, I think we need to teach
Building
kids
the right kid.
just teach them how to navigate the internet. Like I think actually like I think we need to stop treating kids as like these like
they're kids.
They're babies. They're really 100%. Honestly, like
it's like you're building adults. You're not building kids. If you're building
7, 8, 9-year-olds, they're adults. They think they're adults at that age, and like if you treat them and respect them in that way, and actually give them the skills to navigate what's good, what's bad, how to, be safe on the internet. Like actually, those are things we should be teaching them.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like a lot of the kids that I deal with, like sometimes like I want to like be truthful,
okay,
but you look at them and you think, ay.
You're the baby.
They're gonna turn this truth into something that, do you know, like when someone takes in that truth and just turns it into like
to what they want it to be.
Exactly.
Right.
Like and that's why like for me like primary school needs to be where that mentality needs to be built. That like I won't say maturity, but like you include everyone. Do you think like the way you build your life
in a way that they shouldn't, like they're not easily influenced?
No,
like they should learn how to be like subjective. Like when they learn something, they should learn how to like, is this true? You know, like is this something that applies to me? Like, be more critical than be like, oh yeah, they've been taught this. Yeah,
but they are critical. That's the problem.
Can you think kids are critical? Kids are easily influenced.
No, but they are
by their peers.
Yeah, like a kid will tell you the truth, Sam.
Oh no, in that way, yeah.
That's what, like, and that's what I feel like they need to learn. For me, it's more about learning, like, I am you, you are me. As in, like, like, don't do what you wouldn't, don't hurt others. Like, just take the person next to you as you. Because kids, I feel like they have that mentality of, like, who cares?
Nadia, adults don't have that. Do you know how much it takes to be
that
empathetic?
But adults don't have that. But we're not talking
don't
about...
hurt others. Don't like...
Yeah, but adults, like, listen, if you're at that age where you don't have that, I'm sorry to inform you, but that's your business.
No.
But with kids, as like,
you set the bar high.
I'm not setting the bar high. I think that's a very simple thing.
So high. To think... You're telling me, like, as adults...
But you can learn that, though, Sam.
Of course, but we don't practice it.
Yeah, but I'm saying kids can learn that. I think they're the ones more closest to it than us. Because we pretend, we tend to think... But kids, no, they tell you the truth. And sometimes, they're just being honest. But if you can be honest with realizing, right, feelings here involved, you wouldn't want it to happen to you. So be careful.
Oh, my God. I cannot imagine... being a teenager and be like, well, I think it's going to upset her, so I'm not going to do this.
No, it's not. If like you're making it sound like it's
No,
lame and you know.
No, it's not. No.
But you're like,
no. That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
It's just having like.
That's not what I said.
It's bringing everyone.
Nadia, Marisa, Rosa, Maya. That's not what I said. Okay. No, I mean in the sense of like, I'm not saying that like I'm not trying to make it uncool. I'm just trying to say it requires a lot of emotional intelligence.
But kids have that already. I believe they have that, but because the way we grow up, you know, the way we grow up is about dividing, and you know, like it's like I said, like we can be very critical, but we don't have to be critical at everything. There's certain places where you can be critical, but when it comes to human beings,
you can be really naive.
No. When it comes to human beings, you can't be critical. You can't get to know the person by their behavior, because the reality of the situation is you're constantly changing. And that's what I'm saying when it comes to like, don't assume whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, it's changing. But anyways,
that was a different language.
But you understood what I said. That was our language.
It was understood.
But going back to education, I honestly think, and that's why my focus is on like getting them mentally and physically there. Because by the time you get into a secondary school and when technology comes around, I feel like they're more able, like you don't have to tell them what's right, what's wrong. It should be like, you know, like that thing of like telling people what's right, like you should know, learn to navigate we yourself. Know what's right and what's wrong, but sometimes like we block that out because of, I don't know, experiences and whatever, you know. But come on, like you're hurting someone, of course that's wrong.
Yeah, true.
You know, but
sometimes it's just, I think there's a lot of grey area.
Yeah, 100% agree with that.
It's not black and white.
100% I agree with that.
Yeah.
But it comes with the education we're getting, not just in school, but at home as well, because it's also that part of like, even though they spend a lot of time in school, but at home, it's a whole different thing.
Okay.
You know, they're dealing with different people. Like, what you learn in school, you might not take it at home. You might not, you know, carry on with that because your parents are different, you know.
Yeah, no, I get that, because I think like moving on from, because I think education of course takes so many different forms, you know, and like when you're at that age, like of course it shapes, like what you learn at school shapes you, like from your teachers, but also like your peers. I think you learn so much from your peers.
That's where you spend most
time. Yeah, exactly. You spend the most time with them. You learn from them, and like you often hang out with people that like are a mirror of you and who you want to be like. And so that massively shapes you. But like actually when you talk about like the education systems, right? Like say we move past like primary school and then we've been to high school and then we go to college.
I hated college.
You know, college was like, for me.
I hated college.
It's 2 years. Like your primary school, 5 years.
Yeah, but
high school, 5 years. College blip.
Yeah, it was quite fast, but I hated because it was like that stage where you're a big girl now. Yeah, I hate you have your independence. Why am I getting a call from college saying that I'm late from... How is that any of your business, honey?
Was it your business?
You should be grateful that I'm coming to college. And I live like 5 minutes from college, by the way.
No.
No.
5 minutes. She said 5 minutes. She lived opposite college.
2 minutes.
In fact, you could see her house from the college entrance. From the college entrance.
But I hated college.
Kid you not. Nadia's house.
I hated college. Because and that's when I changed my grandma's, because my grandma doesn't speak English yet. So I was like, what was the point of having my grandma's number? You know.
It was a great
makes no sense to me. So I put my number in. So they used to call me and I'd be like, yeah, Nadia's coming. She's just getting ready. You know, like grandma would do. And it used to annoy me. I was thinking, who do they think they are?
She used to lie. She actually had college calling her up.
Honestly, like...
when she was in trouble.
Yeah, 100%. Because in my head, I was thinking, like, they tell me I'm a big girl now. Like, I'm independent. Like, you can go out, have food, and come back. Like, you can manage your time. So why are they trying to manage me? And then,
because you had to be in college to learn, Nadia.
No. And do you know why I used to do that? This is the other thing. This is the, like, I feel like with college...
You was rebelling?
No, I wasn't. It's like, the things, apart from law... Okay. The rest for me, college was quite easy.
What did you do in college again? Remind me.
I did English, I did dance, I swapped that, by the way. And I did law. And I think I did one more.
English,
Psychology.
law, and psychology.
Yep. So that for me was quite simple. Law was the one that I had like difficult in, because like law, you think, you know, because I was a talker, so in my head I was like, it's just gonna be easy for me. I'm just gonna go out there and talk. Yeah, it's different. Like you have to read a lot of boring stuff.
There's so much theory in law.
100%. Like I remember my teacher sat me down. He was like, "Listen, I'm realizing like you thought it was something, but it's obviously not what you thought it was. So I'm gonna be honest.
I did a law module at uni. Oh my god.
Yeah,
it died.
It drags. Like in my head, I was just like, who cares? But I did fine there. Like I was fine. I changed dance because that teacher just hated me. Like I feel like she had something against me.
It was.
I don't know. I feel like I was really, really good at dancing, so she was just like jealous. So
she had no rhythm.
I
was like, get the rhythm out of my class.
No, do you know what it was? They were doing classic, and like I'm not classic.
Oh,
I'm
is
about
it
like
oh,
do you know? I want to move my body. Like this girl's like, no, you have to do it. I'm like, I'm out.
Okay.
I did health and care, and health and care was so easy.
Health and social care.
Health and social care. It was so easy. So most of the time,
you literally just did assignments. That's all. I literally remember you guys just doing assignments.
Yeah.
And chilling.
Yeah, I got things done in 2 seconds. Psychology and health and social care. Those two things were very simple.
I used to hate how much you guys used to chill.
Yeah, exactly.
I was carrying every burden my dad
you
put
were
on
doing
me.
maths and God knows, like
maths,
you're doing all sorts.
Biology.
But do you see what I mean? Like
chemistry.
Oh yeah, that's nasty. I would never.
It was a pain. And then I did psychology. You know what's actually crazy though? Is that out of all the 4 subjects that I did, I did psychology and sociology. Out of all those 5 subjects, by the way, I found psychology the hardest.
Really?
That fucked with my head. Because it was so much theory. And it was like, so psychology.
But it was a good theory though. It wasn't like boring like law.
Psychology and sociology, nothing was definitive.
Yeah.
I need definitive answers.
Yeah.
I need 1 + 1 to equal 2. I don't want it to be possibly 3 or 4.
Yeah.
For different reasons. For different like I couldn't mentally.
Yeah.
I realized I have a very rational brain. Like things need to add up and make sense for me. And I enjoyed like doing a math equation where like you get to the answer by following the solutions, right? It was like a framework that I followed and I understood. And honestly, I feel like psychology and sociology, like they were just too abstract. It was like, and I was forced to think outside of the box. And like, and I realized I'm actually not a creative person in general. Like I rarely I would never like.
Creative in what way? Because I feel like when it comes to like decoration and all that kind, you're very creative.
I love decorating. You know
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but I think I've explored that more, like trying to become creative and not. But like, do you know how some people are just naturally creative? Like my little sister, like, props to her. She just like has like this fashion eye, right? She just sees when things are good. She can put colors together in her head. She can like, she's she's good at drawing. She's always been interesting. Like she can create, she can make things.
Yeah.
Like she can like think about like, oh, I can tell her like, oh, give her a few themes and she'll throw something together and look sick. Mm-hmm. Because she just has this creative eye. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think for me, it's like it's probably like I'm putting things together that I've seen in different places.
Yeah.
And that I think look good together from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Whereas like she can create something brand new. No, she can create something brand new. I can't create anything brand new. I just don't have that like, that thought process in that way. And like that's why I kind of appreciate having friends that are really creative, like and around me. And like even my siblings, my sisters are really talented in that way. And I always like kind of find it cool when I see her create something new, something different. And it's like she did she did art. She did art, right? So I
love the art, by the way.
So she had all these she did all these like art stuff, right? And then she started exploring graphic design and started making graphics and stuff. And I remember like when we opened my mum's like company, and my sister's a nurse, by the way. Like she studied at nursing. She works in a hospital, but like all of a sudden, I thought there was an entire marketing team running the freaking social media platforms of like my mum's like cooking business. Because she was making videos, she was making like all these like imagine like this barista's moving across. Like you're thinking, who did this? Like how are you like literally there was a graphic, right, where there was like rice and chicken playing tic-tac-toe. I said, how did she make this? Like, at what point did she learn how to make this? And it was the fact that like she's just first of all very creative, but also like was interested in it, so she taught herself. She taught herself how to do it.
I think that's what it was. If you're
100%.
interested in it, like I feel like you're more able to follow.
You're gonna put more time and more energy into it. And I think this is why I really struggled when I was in college, and maybe it feels like a blip to me because I hated it so much because I studied so much. I was consistently studying. Like maths was one of those subjects, like it wasn't hard, but there was a lot to remember. Because like in the sense that like imagine like to get this answer, you need to remember this 75 step of like 100%. Figuring it out.
And that's what I struggled with.
Yeah, and I was very competitive with myself as well. Yeah, like I think, the first time I failed anything in my life was in college. It was so back then they don't have this anymore. By the way, I found this out because I was taking my little brother to college, and they don't have AS and A2 anymore. It's just AS, like just A levels. They do the exams at the end. It's like all that was. But back in my day, way back in the day, we had so what we had AS and A2, and even that was broken up to modules. So like you would do exams. So I remember you started school and you're doing college, and then you're doing your first exams almost immediately, right? And I remember, what was it, maths, science, like the two sciences I did, biology and chemistry, I flopped them. I got U's. I've never failed anything in my life. That's actually really sad. Girl, I felt like the biggest failure. Yeah. Like this is something that like came out of GCSEs with top grades. Yeah. Like has always been like a top student, like in English, maths and science anyways. And I've always pushed myself to do well. But I don't know why, but I thought I was a smart ass. And I didn't study as much as I was told to study. Yeah. Because they were like, you've got to put this many hours in. You've got to do this. You've got to do this. And I was like, yeah, sure. Okay, if you say so. All right, whatever. And I also discovered a brand new level of freedom that I just did not have.
Yes. College for us was definitely...
a brand new level of freedom that I did not know I had.
We didn't go out in college. I mean, in school. No. Like, we went school, home, school.
Yeah.
Like, there was no going out at all. When we got to college,
we outside.
My uncle was like, are you a taxi now? You're dropping all your friends. Is that how it is now? I was like, but no, I just want, so you're a taxi. Let me tell you right now, yeah? The school, what is it? The school you went, I was the director. Meaning like, I know exactly what you're doing. Yeah. I used to be like, but.
Is that a Portuguese saying?
Yeah.
The school that you went to, I was a director. As in like, I've been there.
Like, I've been there, done that
life. That's fascinating.
Don't even bother. Like, don't even bother. So I was just like, I don't know what you mean, like, and I feel like that uncle, because like, he was my auntie's husband, and he only met me when I was like, out. He didn't know how I was before.
He had that perception of you as like, this girl will be out.
Yeah, like, so for him, it was like, well, my grandma was like, no, it's fine, let her go out. Because they always used to push me to go out, like, because it was crazy.
Yeah, because you growing up, you were like in your room 24/7.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I was just like watching my movie.
She finally has friends. Like,
I used to read. Do you remember when I used to read? Everybody used to take the mic. Because I was just like a reader. I was like, be like in school reading, and they're like, are you actually for real? You're reading? Which is funny because I stopped reading.
All the time.
I stopped reading. When I got into college, I stopped reading until university. And I started reading again when I'm in university.
Yeah, you used to
I went through
trick me into bookshops.
Yeah, it was beautiful. But like I was saying, like college for us, it was a whole new, and that's why I had to manage my time. This is where I learned to manage my time, by the way, guys. JD, you know exactly where it all started. Because that's literally like, I was like, if I'm not, if I get this done, then I have time to do this. Okay. So I was in class, I'll get things done, I'll finish early, so I'll have time to talk.
I know.
And then my teacher was like, Nadia, you're distracting. I was like, first of all, no.
First of all,
don't involve me.
I have done what I'm supposed to be doing.
Exactly. Don't involve me in what's happening around me. Like, I'm not doing anything. If she is talking back, then she's talking back. It's not my problem. Like, she doesn't talk to me, then I won't speak to her, will I?
That logic is top tier.
But it's the truth, though. If she ignores me, am I going to be speaking with her? No, I'm going to find someone else to speak with.
If I wasn't speaking, if they weren't talking, I wouldn't be speaking.
I wouldn't be speaking.
Okay? So the problem doesn't lie here. It lies
over there. 100%. That was me. So yeah, that's why I feel like it was at that thingy that I was learning to like become more independent, and like you said, like we were going out more.
We were definitely lifting it up, lifting life up. But to be honest though, that was the big wake up call that I had. So like I remember, oh my God, I don't think you saw me for second year. I was like crazy studying.
Yeah, I didn't see
there was so much studying.
I didn't see. We only got
always so jealous. They were like, we're gonna go outside for. I'm like, guys, I got work to do. I got responsibilities now. I'm an adult now. I gotta take. But yeah, I think I was disappointed in myself more than anything. And I had to like prove to myself that I was still smart.
Yeah.
And that I could handle A levels. And alhamdulillah, I did. I did really good at my A levels, alhamdulillah. So I did get through it. But it was like a big challenge. But also, I think it was because the step from from high school to college was huge. But the step from college to university didn't feel huge.
It didn't.
Because of that.
It was only second year that I felt like,
yeah. No, I didn't feel that at all actually second year.
I did.
No, I feel like university was...
But because I was doing engineering...
Is it weird that I think university was actually pretty easy?
I feel like it was a lot like... I feel like because of, we were more like adults, we had more freedom. So for me, I loved that. Like, I was choosing my own time.
Like university education, I think like it was easier because it was more specific. And I think by that time, and this is how people differ, by the way.
Yeah.
Like I had learned how to learn.
Yeah.
Like I knew how I study. I knew how I consume information.
Yeah. And you were doing something that you've been doing for a while, maths, which you love.
No, I've never done accounting, Nadia. And I did accounting and finance. People always find that really interesting, by the way, that I did accounting and finance and I now work in public policy.
Yeah, but that's your area. Like that's, numbers, it's who you are. Like I said, it's logic.
Oh my God, no, it's so different. It's actually really so different. Yeah. It's so different. Accounting is so different from maths. It's like, do you know how they say
not
you need
maths
accounting?
as in like maths, because it's different maths. Like I did engineering and the maths was different there as well.
Oh yeah, God, you did engineering, I remember that.
Maths was, listen, I was paying £20 for the guy to sit me down, break things down for me. So maths is different. Like I'm talking about like it's numbers.
Yeah, it was logical. It adds up.
Yeah, exactly.
The accounts
it's what you
balance at the end. And when they don't balance, why they don't balance? You got to go back and find out
why they don't balance.
What happened. Credits, debits, all of that.
100%.
But you know what though? It was actually tough because for me it was I thought I'd get it easily and I didn't. And this is the thing with maths, by the way. Like I get really frustrated with myself if I don't understand something that other people are understanding. I'm like, how are they understanding? And I'm not getting it. And I keep going at it.
I was like that as well.
You know what I mean? And accounting, oh my God, it took me so long to understand it.
Yeah.
To get it. But also at that point, I think I realized I don't want to do this. I find no joy in this work. I don't find it exciting. I don't find it stimulating. But the good thing is we did loads of other modules.
It wasn't all just
it wasn't
boring
just
stuff.
It wasn't just like accounts. It was like all these other stuff. I remember I did law and I realized I hate law because it was so heavy.
No, law is
and there was so much so many things that we had to learn. So many different types of regulations and like memorize this person versus that and this, that. And I'm just like, yeah, this ain't it. This ain't it, chief. It ain't gonna be me.
I was gonna ask you a question, but it's kind of funny because I was gonna say, do you think uni was worth it for you? But in a way, it was. That's what like for you, it was
for
where
me.
It all started.
Would I be here without university?
Exactly for you.
And the crazy thing is, it's not even my degree.
I know.
It's like I am who I am because I went to university. Like in a sense of like
not because of your degree.
Not because of my degree, no. Yeah. Which is crazy. And to give you context in the sense of like I got involved in like campaigning and like activism at my university, and then I became like the president of my local union, and then the president of the National Union of Students, and then the vice president of the European Students. Literally my entire career has been in like student politics, right?
Yeah.
And then because of that, I've gone into public policy. I've gone into like policy writing and education and like understanding like building campaigns and all of that, international relations. Like that's life that I was dropped into through skills that I learned along the way. Not that I was ever taught by an academic.
Yeah.
Nothing like it's not something I ever would like sat in a classroom for and learn.
Yeah.
That's just things that I learned in the journey.
Mm-hmm.
But university,
you used to do community.
but university was pivotal in that. I ran my first campaign through university.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you started with university because like it wasn't part of your degree. It was part of like the things that were happening in university.
Extracurricular.
But because you already started, because you used to do community, you used to work.
I did actually. Yeah, that's very
so
true.
in a way, like you already you knew how to get yourself involved.
Yeah.
In.
But you know what? I feel like when I was doing community work, I didn't have the same agency that I did when I was in university.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
In the sense that like I was like, so I think the first ever campaign I did was like an FGM campaign, which is female genital mutilation, if you guys don't know, and so that's like, it was like really heavy work.
Yeah.
And it's not something that I felt passionate about because it's something I knew nothing about when I got involved in it. I didn't even think it was a real thing that happened. Like I remember when I was told about it, I was like, that ain't real. Somalis don't do that. And then I had like a real awakening of understanding like actually they do, and it's a huge issue within the community, and there's like a lot of unlearning that needs to happen, and there was like a campaign that I got involved in. But I didn't see it as first of all as a campaign. I mean, it was a campaign then, but I didn't realize it was a campaign. And I kind of did what I was told to do, you know, kind of just. But when I came to university, it was like,
you were doing your own thing.
What do you want to change?
Yeah.
Like what angers you? And then it was like, well, then change it. And it was kind of like this empowering, like it was really empowering to be like, oh shit, I can actually like
do this,
enact policy that actually implements change. You know, I can resource this, I can do this, I can like, and that's when I realized like, oh, I actually love doing this. I find so much joy in this work, like to be able to like solve things that I find are problematic or an issue. And I think it started like changing things on campus, right? Like, why is there no halal food on campus? Like, everyone has that issue. And then like we introduce a policy, and then next thing you know, we're talking to vendors and we're getting like the catering agreement, making sure that they serve halal food.
Yeah. You went from
and
talking
like,
to
something that's like a problem for me actually is a problem for thousands of people on campus, because there's loads of Muslim on campus, right?
Yeah.
And then it becomes like, actually then you solve that issue, and you're like, you know what? We don't have a prayer space. Like, why don't we have like, you stop solving things for you, and then slowly it goes into like a wider issues of like, actually, like, why do students have to pay for access to, I don't know, to borrow books? Why do students have to pay for robes, right? Like, it's their university, it's their graduation. Like, shouldn't students have access to more study space? And then you start solving these issues that like, of an experience you're having, you're seeing how it impacts other people. Like how it gives access to other people, and by the end of it, like, we were doing like offering scholarships to students that were struggling to pay for university. We were working on like refugee programs, allowing like students who are refugees to study. Like, it started at like changing like little small things to like changing huge things. Like, imagine like giving somebody who thinks when they come here will never have access to education, right? Because they are a refugee and they have that refugee status. And if you don't know, like, refugees like are not actually allowed to study, like, and don't have the same rights to be able to study. And when I say that, it's a sense of like, it's to access the loan that we access to get to study. So often they need scholarships, and there are very few and far between scholarships at universities. But imagine you started at like being like, bro, I just want halal food on campus.
Yeah,
that was where I started, right? And now, like, you're offering education, a chance of an education for somebody that probably may have never got it. So it's huge. And then you go off campus and you start doing it on a national platform. Yeah. And then you're like, okay. And then you start doing that on an international platform. And I think that's when I realized, like, this is what I love. And university, like, without university, I would never be where I am today. Yeah. Absolutely not. Yeah. What would I be doing? Accounting? Like, just out here, like, accounts already. Yeah. And I'm so grateful for like the people in my university, the university that I went to, the students union that I worked in, like how they pushed me and supported me, because honestly, like, it shaped who I am. Yeah. But I do think like the university shapes you in different ways. It's like 100%. An experience, and that's why I always say to people, like, yeah, okay, university isn't necessary. No. Like, not everybody should be expected to go to university. Yeah. And I do think universities as a whole are so like massively like backdated, like they teach the same way. Yeah. You know what I mean? They need to change massively. 100%. But going to university is important. It is important. It's an important part of like growing and learning, and honestly just generally being in this lifelong learning experience of consistently continuing to learn. I think that's something we need like way more often. Yeah. But I mean,
I feel like if you know what you want to do and you don't think, you know, unless it's like an engineering job, an engineering degree or medicine or, you know, for me, unless it's that kind of thing that you know you're going to have to go through, you know, university to get it, then if you know what you want to do, just get on with it. Just do it. Like, if you don't know what you want to do, then I think 100% you should go to university. Because I feel like it will give you time to like meet other things, meet other people. Definitely. And like, I feel like it will open, you know, certain doors for you that you don't have if you don't go to university. Because I feel like if you don't go to university, you kind of like just, you're at home or you get a job. And it will be like a very like, you know,
you can also get a job,
McDonald's
or like
job.
An apprenticeship.
Or apprenticeship. That's it. Yeah.
You know what? I think like it's just being confident. Like you don't have to know what you want to do for the rest of your life at that age.
100%.
There's no expectation.
Yeah.
At all. Don't put pressure yourself to like know. And don't put pressure yourself to like think like, oh, I need to know what I'm going to get out of education. Because you might go in with an intention, I'm going to get this out of education.
Yep. And
you might come out with something completely different.
Yep. And it changes completely different. Yep. Which is good. Which is really good. Because I feel like when it changes, that means like, you know, you're not afraid. Like you're taking risks.
Yeah.
You know.
I remember you applied to psychology?
God. Yes.
When we applied for university, you applied to psychology, and then
mine was psychology,
switched to engineering.
I switched to engineering because mum was like, psychology? By the way, she's a psychologist. She was like, psychology? What is that? Is that even a degree?
As a psychologist, it's a bit wild.
I was like, well, I think so. It is. Listen,
she's like, we already have one of those. Okay, you got to pick something else.
She's like, listen, you have two choices here. You either do medicine or you do engineering. And I was like, well, I don't want to kill no one. And I was like, do you know what?
You can kill somebody as an engineer as well, you know that. Especially because you...
It would be like a different kind of death. You can get away with
doing,
that, you know.
If I remember correctly, you were doing petroleum engineering.
Yeah, mine was petroleum.
You would have killed a lot of people and a lot of animals.
What with the Vaseline?
No, Nadia, by extracting oil and pipelines.
Would I ever be in the position that I'll be there, Sam? Like, just look at me and you think, do you actually see myself in the rig? As if. But anyways.
No, I don't actually.
Exactly, that would never happen. Like,
that would be a problem waiting to happen.
I feel like I would change a lot of things. I'll be like, listen, guys, there has to be a bit more pink in here.
Yeah.
There has to be a bit more support. Like, why isn't this as comfortable? Isn't a comfy sofa here for us to sit down?
No, we're here to extract oil, but how's everybody feeling? Is everybody
literally?
Is everybody like, okay?
Are you all doing okay? Should we have a sit down? No, that wouldn't be me. But all I'm saying is, what was the thing again? What's the point of the whole conversation?
Extracting oil and Nadia fluffing everyone up.
What was the point of the conversation? What was the point we were trying to make? I think the point I was trying to make was that I was at that stage as well that I was, you were asking yourself questions like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
And as I told you guys in the first episode, my mum is very like headstrong. So when I asked her, mother, what do you think I should do? She was like, at this age and time.
At this age,
you're asking me?
Mm-mm.
I was like,
you have
your cousin. I was like, okay, and this cousin here, and I spoke to this. I was like, okay, so you have two choices really. Mm-hmm. It's either medicine or engineering.
That's it.
I was like, do you know what? It makes sense what you said, you know. It fully makes sense now that you've literally like
you've aligned the stars.
Now that you put it like that,
the math is mathing for first.
You know, I'm wondering why did I even
consider?
Do you know why?
Of course, I'm gonna do engineering, mother.
So I'm like that kind of like really put me down because I was like, if I can't ask you, then who the hell am I gonna ask?
Oh, that's wild. Yeah, that's true. And I think a lot of kids go through that when they.
Yeah, I feel like parents need to like just chill. Like I get it, like you want the best for them and whatever, but it's like literally like I was in that position that the one person that I thought I could talk to, I couldn't at that time, and at that time as well, like I wasn't like 100 with my family. It was at that age like there was a lot of back talk and those sorts, and like you know, let's just say my family was done with me. So in a way that like I didn't feel like safe to go approach them and be like, I don't know what I want to do. And then I go to my mom and like she makes it even worse. So I got into this course and I was just like, what the hell am I doing here?
You just did it. You did 2 years of it.
Yeah, I did 2 years of it and I was just like, F it, I'm out. But the second year was really hard for me. I feel like that's when it fully like hit me and like.
You put in work.
I did like
in all the years I've known Nadia. I feel like when she was doing engineering, like she was studying hard, and it was like a flip of like me and you at university.
Yeah, it was. It was like because I actually like I didn't want to do it for me because like I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was doing it for my mom.
You was the only girl in your class as well. I remember that.
Yeah, I was the only girl. Oh my god, so much. It was so funny. Like
people used to look at her and be like, I think you're in the wrong place.
Literally, like that's what my teacher. Like the first day I came into class, he was like, "Are you in the right place?" I was like, "Is this petroleum mechanical engineering?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm in the right place." And he was like, "Right." I was like, "Okay, attitude," as if. But yeah, I was the only girl in my class, which was really cool, by the way, guys. Like, I actually loved it. I was like, such a like. Everyone was just like, Nadia. I was like, yeah, keep going. I was a very social person in like, if you thought, and that's what we swapped. There's a lot of changes. Like,
yeah, there was
this
actually.
is
You're
really
right.
weird.
Now I think about it, it's so true.
Because Sam wasn't social in university, and I was like,
I became a mysterious character.
Yeah, she was like really quiet, minding her business, and I was like a social hoe. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I knew everyone, and like everyone knew me. Okay. I knew most of everyone, but everyone knew me.
We should actually contextualize that because I feel like that's when we started university. But by the end,
yeah. Literally, beginning of university, like I was like out there, like everyone, I was everywhere, and you know, I was excited about
new friend. Every day, new friend. I said, please.
I was doing all sorts. Friends. I remember I tried for basketball. I actually did.
You did all
what's
of
it called?
All of that extracurricular stuff.
What's the bloody called? Rowing. I did that. Do you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. It was actually like nice.
I remember
so like I feel like I really like I did give 100% to university. Like I tried and I was doing, you know, extra lessons for maths because I was like way behind because I didn't do maths in college and I feel like I missed out
you needed
a lot because I was doing engineering. So second year, and because like when you're social, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like I'm so glad I stopped being social after because when you're social, it takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, it does. 100%.
You know, like it's the whole thing of like having to remember things. Like people were approaching me and they were like talking to me like they knew me. And I was looking and thinking, who is this?
Yeah, I remember walking around campus first year, be like, yeah, that's Nadia's friend. Oh, somebody said hi to me, that's Nadia's friend. It's Nadia's friend. I was like, bloody hell, this girl talks to everybody.
Yeah, it was really bad. It was really, really bad.
But you know, like Nadia's hair was like really long. She was just like this, like bubbly jumping person. Around, like
Yeah, my hair was long before.
I don't even know how to best describe it. I think this.
I wasn't going like that.
This describes
I was rotting, girl. Behave.
No. Now you just adorable.
I know.
Little human being.
That's the thing that. Anyways, I'm not gonna get.
It was like tiny and sassy and like really funny and like really loud and like,
I was really loud.
And she has a sense of presence. Like now, when Nadia's in a room, like you know Nadia's in that space. You know what I mean? She's that kind of person. You're still that kind of person, but like it was. But now I feel like so then.
Yeah, now it was like I was really out there. Like
definitely
fully like 100% out there. But when I got into second, I felt tired. Like I was not only tired with the degree, but also the whole like social thing because it's a constant thing. Like. People are constantly texting you, like wanting to know what you're doing, wanting to know,
let's
like,
go out, should we do this?
Yeah, like it's
what time you coming
to school?
If we got a lesson today? Oh my day, just too
like
much.
100%. And I was having like a hard time, like, because we were having 3 hours. Like yours was 3 hours as well. Yours?
No,
I think yours was only 2. Yeah, get like for engineering like 3 hours, 4 hours at a time, and it was exhausting. Like I was just like I was sat in that classroom just thinking, what on earth am I doing here?
3-hour class is actually painful. I don't understand how people even focus past an hour.
Honestly, like, and imagine you're going that and you're asking yourself what you're doing there the whole time. It gets to a point that you're just like, you know what? And then I got into a relationship at that stage as well. So I feel like that kind of like
that is a segue we need to go into one day, but not today.
Yeah, not today though. But yeah, so I just said, you know what, F it. I'm not gonna go into this because you know it's killing me slowly.
Yeah, but I respect that you showed yourself that you can do it.
Yeah,
you were like, yeah, I know I don't have the foundations that I needed. Mm-hmm. I know I like didn't want to do this.
Yeah,
but I want to prove to myself that I can. And you put your head down and you did.
Yeah,
And I really respect that.
Do you know what? I honestly think because I didn't have the support, like I couldn't be honest with what was happening. Because I feel like if I had, like, because we were both like, we were doing different things. Because I was like social, and then Sam got into like the whole like politics and stuff like that. So like we're living like our own different, you know, things. And like I literally like had no one there to be like, listen, like I don't know what's going on. Like I think there's something big happening, but I don't know what it is. I didn't have that, and I think it really hit me, the fact that my mum wasn't there for me, like
the support
on the way that I wanted her to be.
Okay.
You know, not to criticize me, but to be like, okay, fair enough. You don't want to do this, then what do you want to do? You know, like let's talk through this.
Yeah.
Let's decide together, because no matter what,
I think
we'll do it together.
We're not gonna get that from our parents. I think we need to find the answers within ourselves.
100%, and that's why like I left. That's why I was just like, no, I'm not gonna do this, because if I don't have that support to carry on, then I should to do it my own way. Yeah. And that's literally what I did. Like,
I'm gonna find my own way.
100%. I gotta go my own way. High School Musical, bruh.
So, to summate, is university worth it?
Honestly, it depends on you. Because I could tell you it's not, but you have a whole different experience from me. Yeah, I could tell you it is.
Absolutely.
And you will need it. So,
absolutely subjective. I agree.
Honestly, like, it depends on you, but they need to change the system. Primary school needs to be changed. Secondary school needs to be changed. We need to start building our people. Like, we need to start building our kids.
Yeah, that's true.
We need to start, like, they need to have a safe place to grow.
Preach it, sis. Preach it.
Honestly, like, it needs to happen. UK, you are a first world country. Please.
You think she's a politician and not me?
No, but it's the truth. Like, a lot of kids are dying inside. Like, you see kids with 100%. Fire, attitude, sassiness. It's beautiful. They get to year 11, they're like, that can't be asked. Who cares?
Yeah. You know what? And I think this is where they beat the creativity out of them. They beat the aspiration to be, you know, to think outside the box. And like, so yeah, I agree with you 100%. Of course I agree with you. I literally, like, have dedicated my life
100%.
to campaigning for changing like the education systems and educating people and skilling people, and like, and I hope that we can be a part of like creating that change. But there's also, I hope we can talk about this. So much to say, but I think for me, to summate, like, I think university is worth it. Yeah. I think regardless of what you get from it, I think university is worth it. Yeah. But university needs to be free. Yeah. It's education. That's it. All education should be free. Yeah. That's it. Thank you so much for watching us. I appreciate it. Comment, like, subscribe. Why do you sound like that? Bro, you did not sound like that the entire... What's wrong with you? Anyways, what I'm trying to say... There was something different, innit? There was like a bit of a difference. If you're here for the second episode, you're officially a part of the Flop Squad. Congratulations. Yep. You've made it. You have been initiated into the squad. But thank you for sticking with us. And feel free to comment. Honestly, like give us your opinion, because I feel like we can make a difference here. I honestly believe like education needs to be changed now more than ever. So especially with technology like being introduced. Let us know what kind of things you think we should cover as well. Yes, give us like different ideas on topics to talk about and stuff like that.